Rose Petal Place, A Garden of Love to Share, by Dagmar Folslein. Pictures by Pat Paris and Karen Williams. Now you follow along with me, and when you hear this sound, turn the page. Okay?
Please sing the growing song again, Rose Petal,
asked Sunny Sunflower sweetly as the two girls strolled slowly up the garden walk.
I'd be glad to, Sunny,
answered Rose Petal.
Push through the ground, little plant. Reach for the sun. A bright world will be found, little plant, when a new life's begun.
Rose Petal's beautiful voice rang through the garden. Tumbles the hedgehog was scampering down a nearby hill. He rolled to a stop to watch the little plants emerge from the earth. The song carried far to the dark and dismal side of the garden. The wicked face of Nastina peered through the brush. She listened, made a nasty face, then clapped her 4 hands over her ears to block out the sound.
Yuck! Reach for the sun, little plant.
She screeched.
Oh, that silly Rose Petal! I'll stop her from singing those ridiculous songs!
She motioned to her repulsive assistant, Horace Fly.
Come with me, you moron! We have work to do!
Yes, Nastina,
Horace muttered. They reached the dark and creepy Tin Can Castle, which was Nastina's home.
What's the worst thing that could happen to Rose Petal, Horace?
Nastina snarled.
How should I know?
Any fool would know. She could lose her voice.
How could you arrange that, Nastina?
With the help of my Dial-a-Brew cookbook. Watch.
Nastina twirled the 4 knobs on top of a giant black book that was on her kitchen table. It opened. Nastina read the recipe on the open page, nodded to Horace, and went to work. She measured smelly herbs, fiery liquids, and other strange things. Then she put them into a big black cooking pot. As it gurgled and brewed on her stove, Nastina stirred and chanted.
Bubble, bubble, steep and brew. Silly Rose Petal, I'll stop you.
Nastina filled a glass with her potion.
Horace,
She sneered.
when Rose Petal drinks this, it will destroy her voice forever. Now bring her here.
How do I do that?
Don't bore me with details. Just do it.
Later that night, Seymour J. Snailsworth was awakened from his after-dinner nap by a loud rapping at his door. When he opened it, he was surprised to see Horace Fly standing there.
You must save me.
Horace whined.
What's your trouble?
Nastina, I can't stand her wickedness anymore. Hide me.
We'd better go and see Rose Petal,
said Seymour.
Perhaps she will know what to do.
You go to her. I'll hide in the briar patch.
Seymour lumbered off to tell Rose Petal about Horace Fly's problem. She was very happy about Horace's change of heart and said,
if Nastina doesn't have Horace to do her dirty work, she won't be so powerful. Yes, I'll see Horace.
Rose Petal hopped in her Rose Petal Roadster and drove straight to the briar patch. She called.
Horace! Horace Fly!
No one answered. She called again.
Horace!
A net fell over her. She was helpless, frightened, and unable to move. She heard Horace Fly's mocking voice call,
Here I am, Rose Petal.
Rose Petal kicked and struggled, but she could not free herself. Horace dragged her out of the briar patch, loaded her on a cart, and hauled her to Nastina's tin can castle. Nastina was waiting for them at the door.
Why, Horace, remove that web at once. That's no way to treat our honored guest.
When Rose Petal had been freed, Nastina turned to her and said,
Well, Rose Petal, how nice of you to come and see me.
She took Rose Petal's 2 hands in her 4.
I have some wonderful news. I've decided that being nasty isn't nice. I want to help you fill the whole garden with happiness.
Rose Petal wasn't sure if she could believe Nastina, but she always looked on the bright side.
Perhaps she really has changed,
Thought Rose Petal.
Let's drink a toast to celebrate our new friendship, Rose Petal. Then you must sing for us.
Gushed Nastina. Horace brought in 2 silver goblets and handed them to Nastina and Rose Petal. Rose Petal eyed the steamy, bubbly liquid fearfully. She paused for several seconds, but then she drank it.
Wonderful!
Cried Nastina.
Now, let's join together in a song. I'll play the organ for you.
Rose Petal began to sing. At first, her voice was sweet and clear, but after a few notes, began to crack. Then it started to fade. Then it was gone completely. Try as she might, Rose Petal could not get out a single note.
Beautiful tone, ha!
Sneered Nastina.
Well, that's the end of those silly songs. Throw her in the tower room, Horace.
Poor Rose Petal was dragged up the stairs and dumped on the floor of the tower room. When the heavy door clanked shut, Rose Petal cried bitterly in the darkness.
I must have light.
She sobbed.
I'll die without light.
She looked up and saw one small ray of moonlight shining through a crack in the roof. It lingered on the crystal teardrop in her hat, flashing a frail beacon from the tower. Meanwhile, Seymour J. Snailsworth had become disturbed when Rose Petal failed to return. He called Pitter-Pat, Tumbles the Hedgehog, and P.D. Centipede together. They searched everywhere that whole night, but could find no trace of Rose Petal. In the morning, they called Rose Petal's other friends. No one knew what to do.
I'll bet Nastina knows where Rose Petal is,
Said Sunny Sunflower.
Let's go and ask her about it.
Suddenly, a butterfly fluttered up to Sunny Sunflower.
I saw Rose Petal lying on the floor of Nastina's tower room.
The butterfly said breathlessly.
I was flying around the garden when I saw a bright flash of light across my left wing. I looked up and saw that it came from Nastina's tower. I followed the ray, peeked through the roof, and saw Rose Petal lying on the floor. The beam came from the crystal teardrop in her hat.
We've got to save her,
Said Sunny Sunflower.
We don't stand a chance against Nastina.
Said Orchid sadly. P.D. Centipede spoke up bravely.
We mustn't be afraid. The only thing to do is save Rose Petal. Come on, team!
P.D. banged on Nastina's door. When she opened it, Pitter-Pat lashed Nastina with her tail and forced her in a corner. Tumbles rolled in and bowled Horace Fly over. When he got up, P.D. knocked him down again. Seymour J. Snailsworth was peeking through the door. When he saw that Nastina and Horace were under control, he hurried the girls up the stairs to the tower room. He turned the key in the lock and opened the door. They saw Rose Petal lying motionless on the floor. The girls gently lifted and carried her down the stairs and out into the sunshine. When Rose Petal had been returned to her own bed, the girls sat around her crying. Lily Fair's tears fell on Rose Petal's cheek when she stooped to kiss her. As each tear fell, a little chime rang. Rose Petal stirred and sat up.
Oh, my goodness. I'm safe at home,
She exclaimed.
My voice. I wonder if I can sing.
Good friends, sweet friends, I love you so much. My life reawakened because of your touch.
Once more her voice was beautiful and true. Everyone crowded around to hear the rest of her song.
Good friends, sweet friends, I'm safe, thank you all. If you're ever in trouble, I'll come at your call.
Rose Petal's singing filled the garden once again with the sounds of her love. The love of music and the love of friends.